In this video, I'm going to show you a tool that will literally change the way you work, the way you think as a founder. And no, I'm not talking about ChatGPT, not again. I'm talking about Figma. Maybe you have heard about it. Figma is a tool that is made for designers. And guess what? It is extremely popular in the web design industry. Well, that's the problem. Everybody thinks it's only made for designers. But what I'm about to show you is a way to use this amazing tool to expand your brain by learning how to think and how to communicate visually. If you watch this video until the end, not only you will improve your thinking, but you will also learn how to show exactly what you have in mind to your team, your partners, the agencies you are working with, or your investors. When you understand what you can do with this tool and how you can use it as a founder, you can't go back. Really, it's like having a superpower. In my career, there was before and an after Figma. Now, everything I work on, everything I think, everything I want to explain is on Figma. But don't worry, you don't have to spend hours learning the tool. Everything I'm about to show you is only using the basic features of Figma. No technical knowledge required. I mean, of course, you need a while to get into it, but fair enough. The value you will get from it, definitely worth it. So now that we know what we are talking about, let's have a first look at what is Figma exactly and what are the ways that I'm about to talk about in this video. So here is a Figma board, and it is a quite full one. It's an old example that contains a lot of different parts of funnels, like brainstorming, like different ad campaigns, everything that we worked on as a team to understand exactly what was happening and the different steps we took. This is only one single use. In the last years, I've used plenty of boards like this one. So much that it was really hard to review them all, to find the best ones to show you without making this video way too long. So what I've done is simply that I've selected those examples and classified them by use that you will have. And I'm about to walk you through each of them. I will try to be quick, but what I want is that for you to have a vision already of what you could do once you know how to build it. So we are going to look how we can manage the email marketing with Figma, how we can actually think visually, like create customer journeys and different processes. I'm going to go through quickly everything you need for creating a brand, how you can collaborate on Figma, and that is actually not using the collaboration features of Figma. This is quite my thing, but it is extremely helpful. How to do reporting, and for that we are going to combine it with another tool that basically will create those videos that you are watching right now. We are going to see how to understand a complex a concept, or even to explain it, how you can create swipe files for yourself, basically storing knowledge that you will use again and again and show to people whenever you need it, and everything you can visually build, ad campaigns, funnels, complex marketing systems that are not really funnels, but I'm going to show you two examples here, and workflow. But first, before we go into that, I want to show you what is Figma when there is nothing on the board. So let's start with a blank board. Here, if I click on Figma, if I type figma.new, it is like with Google Sheet or Google Doc, it just opens a Figma file. Okay, here we are on the blank board. By the way, I'm not showing you how to create an account, and I guess you will figure it out. Just go to figma.com, create an account, and then you will be able to start using Figma. It is completely free. You have some limitation, but it is all free to use. I've never paid for that, so you can just go ahead and start using it right now. So this is a blank board, and as you can see, it is black simply because I'm using the dark theme. When we are here, if I just create some rectangle here, we can see that we have the pixel that gives you the size of the rectangle. And if I zoom out, you can see I can zoom out really, really far away from it. And it works with frames. So here I'm clicking on frames. I'm not going to do a complete tutorial, but basically in a frame, you can enter different things. And as you can see, it stays in the frame and then it will move with the frame. You always look at the different data that we have here. So it will be useful when you create ads. So you have the exact size of what you are creating. And then you have the colors that you can change here. You can make some effects, some stroke. Here, for example, I can create different shapes. I can create arrows. Here, I have the size of the arrow and even text, which I didn't show you already, with all the different fonts that you can use. All the Google fonts are already there. It's really good we can do that, but it doesn't solve our visual syncing problem. So how do we actually bring stuff on our boards? For that, you will mainly use two different tools. The first one is this Chrome app that I really like, that allows you to take complete screenshots of a page. And the second one is, it's a window app, but you also have, no, it's a window and Mac app that allows you to take screenshots. So let me bring my website, for example. So this is a very short page, so you won't really see it, but here it goes and take the complete page. Takes the screenshots, and then I just have to copy, and I go back here, Control V, and boom, here it is. Okay, so what about if I want to clearly have a vision of the what is the website? I want to recreate the website and to know where are the people going. So that is a longer page. Okay, now I'm just going to do that again. And that would bring me to another tool I'm going to show you. Okay, so I have the complete page. I can copy again, go back into my board, and Control V. Takes a little bit more time. You can see it's not the same size here. So what I want is to have both of them at 2000 pixels, because it's what I use all the time. It's the size of most screens. So now they are similar, and I can already see the difference in size between them. Okay, but if I look at this one, as you can see, it's kind of pixelized. So you have the page and you can understand, but sometimes you have pages that are way longer than that. So how do I manage not to have that? Simply, I will download the screenshots instead of just copying it. And here, I am going to go back to my board, and I'm going to use a plugin that you can find here that is called Insert. Sorry, it's here. Insert Big Image. Okay, choose Images. Click this one, and here we go. I have it again. It's it basically cut the page in different parts, but now you can see that it is not pixelized anymore. So simply by doing that, you can already see that you can start mapping out a website here. If I am just taking an arrow and I say, okay, if I click here, then I get to this page. Here the arrow is white. If I click on cap and up arrow, it's 10, 10, 10. Okay, and I can do that with every single page. So as you can see here, you already have the basic tool you need just to throw your thinking onto a board. Basically, when you brainstorm, you will start writing something, idea 1, and so you can make it bigger, and then you will copy it, Alt, copy idea 2, and so on and so forth. And you put all of that here, and then you start sorting them up. Okay. If you want, just a thing, if you want to go deeper into how it works, how Figma works, the best way I've found is simply to bring a screenshot like that and just reproduce it. So here I would create a frame, the exact same size. I look here, copy, and then here I put the same width, and then I will start using reproducing pixel per pixel everything. And I can promise you, once you are done doing that, you basically know how to use Figma. You do it once and then you are good to go. So let's skip the guesswork. Okay, so here I put it in the middle. I will reduce the size, align in the middle. I need a new font, which I know this one, it's Bowlby, and I reduce the height, reduce again. Okay. And then here I'm going to use that. And as you can see, you can go on and on until you have done everything and you're good to go. Okay, now that we know how to use the very basic of Figma, let's have a look at the different use cases I wanted to show you. That will be the longest part of the video. Let's start by email marketing, and along the way, probably you will understand more features and it will be more clear. Okay, cool. So here's a board I've used to create email flows. And the big difference that you would have by creating them in Figma and working with Google Doc and having it on Miro and so on is that you really combine everything at once. For example, here I manually entered the different dates. This is a screenshot of Google Sheets that I had my calendar in it. And I also actually design the different, here font program, doesn't matter. I actually design the emails. So those ones were quite visual email. This is not what I'm usually doing, but for this specific case, we are doing like very visual emails. And this is a multi-use document because everybody can go and see exactly what will be said when, can adjust it. But so we work the design here, but we also have the strategy coming in. And we can also take some screenshots of the different flows that we are using. Here's another example. This one is for a newsletter. We are sending a newsletter with, this is not for e-commerce. This one is really an actual business, newsletter business with a paid version and a free version. And at some point, we simply thought like, what is it exactly in the free version? And then by simply taking a screenshot, as you can see here, it's a screenshot the same way I took with the tool I showed you before, and putting them together, copying the screenshot and adding some like transparent rectangle you can simply go and choose a color and reduce the transparency here. Then now we can start adjusting to see exactly what we want. And here, for example, we put in this color, this is kind of self-promotion and like stuff that is not really content, neither free content nor paid content. It's more like the connection and self-promotion. In red is everything that is paid content. So it is not value. And in green, it is pure value. And we realized quickly that the free version didn't get a lot of value, actually. Only the paid version got way too much. And when you read it, you don't really get it. When you see that, it is extremely clear. Okay, now let's have a look at visual building. Let's dig into the ad creation board that I have right here. I just opened it here. This one is quite interesting too, because it is a board that has been used to create Facebook ads, mostly the creatives, but also the ad copies. And if you dig into it, it really takes everything from the brainstorming to the analysis and the actual ads that we are using in Facebook. So the first thing was to go and bring on some screenshots that I've used with, I've taken with Lightshot. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but if I click on my I don't know, I can't show you in the video, but with Lightshot, you can basically take very simple screenshot. So it just brings it here easily. So I have my mood board with the different ads I want. And then I bring on all the different assets that we have that we are going to use. And I start feeding some hooks that we are going to use. Here there is a bit of try to design. It was a long time ago. I got a little bit better. Removing. You can't remove background. I mean, you can, but it's not ideal. It's way better to go with Canva AI or you have plenty of tools to remove background. But here I bring some other things that I wanted to use. I will show you that afterward. And then I start building. So that was, I think, the first try. And as you can see, it's just quite horrible. I don't know. I think I never published this one. But basically the idea, and that will be also the topic of another video, this is a special kind of campaign where I test different hooks on the same images. And I've created like dozens and dozens of ads to find out quickly what worked best. So here, every of them is actually a working ad, not working ads, but this is the actual picture that we are going to download to use in the Facebook ad campaign. Here it's 1,000 pixel. Usually it's more 1080 rather than 1,000, but it doesn't matter. And everything here was created right away in Figma. And then you have like the different headlines. So here's basically a working document where I will put my different ideas, different variations, the text, and so on and so forth. And here I have also some stories that have been created, different versions, and so on. It's kind of a design here, I do agree, but as a founder or even as a marketer, you really have one place where you stack up everything regarding this project. You just put them together and you start organizing and you start thinking, and it is completely free. And then you can zoom out and look at what you have, bring some assets like here's a branding asset, bring some example, and it is really fun. And it's actually really fun to work with some music. It moves, it is visually interesting. So yeah, that's something it's really enjoyable to work like that. Here's another example of ads once they are completely done. That is good for like having a very good vision of what it will do in the end. So that is basically a screenshot here. And here's the text that have been made directly. And here's the actual ad. And here, same thing. it is good to be able to see at once all the ads that we have. And just to finish with the ads, here's another example where you can see the technique I was talking about before with the 10 different hooks on the same pictures again and again and again. And same thing, we brought up everything that we are going to use, and then I start creating, picking one, testing, making some adjustment to the design, trying to find the right saturation to bring attention. It's kind of a mix between thinking and designing. So let's go back and have a look at the next step, which is visual funnel building. Okay, here's the one I showed you at the beginning of the video. This one we used to segment the different steps that we were going to use. This one is really interesting because it is all-in-one kind of board. That is the website before we start working on it. This is exactly the first ad we made. That was the former collection page. The former, I didn't take screenshots for everything. And then the first ad we run, and then that's another very interesting way to use it, that it is very hard for people to understand Facebook ads, for example. So when you start taking time to analyze and you take some screenshots, and then you make some notation on different parts to explain. So when you review it, it's very easy to tell people what was happening because you already have all your notes directly in there. And all of that is, okay, that is the very first step. That was before we start working on it. And then we go on step 2. And step 2, we start having notes. And the stuff that you see is at the end of the step 2. So the beginning, we just say, okay, here's all the ads we have created. Here's the new landing page we have created. Here's the pop-up. Here we have type form. And then we have that and that and that and blah, blah, blah. We run ads and then we start analyzing. So we put the analyze here, same thing. We look at the different things that we find that can be interesting to know. We look at what were the best performing ads, and we look at the different conversion rates. So average of 3% click-through rate. And then from this one to this one, we know it's 20%. And, it's very easy to see at on one single vision, the jump that are made through the customer journey. And here, for example, I've quickly known that, okay, here we need to work on the landing page because 20% here, it's extremely bad. So this is what we have done. And then we went through the next step. At the same time here, we also have brought the information about the type form because that was a quiz. I just watched some of my videos. You probably know I'm a quiz funnel nerd, so I love asking questions to customers. And that was the result of a quiz. So we brought it here and start analyzing it just to make the whole team really aware of what we are doing and what we learned. And I'm not going to go through all the steps, but basically, okay, 3, now that we have learned on step 2, we go on step 3 and we start doing different things depending on what we learned. Here, very interesting thing that you will see again in the other examples. Here is a task management that is in collaboration, and this is what I told you. This is not the basic feature. Here is basically a square, and that's font, right? And that is a normal cross. But I love to do that. Once you're building a funnel, you have it visually at once, and then you can start thinking, okay, so what do I have to do in the landing page? And then you start having, like, okay, so I also need to do that, and I need to do that, and then you start having this amazing to-do list, which is exactly putting the tasks that you need to do at the exact place that you need to do them. So yeah, I'm going to show you more example of the different task management that we have. Okay, let's move to the next one, still in visual funnel building. This one is not actually a funnel building. This one, I used it to brainstorm a business model that brought us to a funnel. Basically, it is really like pure brainstorming. Okay, these are the things we have, and so on and so forth. And now I start having some funnel ideas, and then I bring all the information together. And in the end, you can see like, okay, podcast, YouTube, and we have a lead generation system, we have a paid offer, email. And see, here there are a lot less design, and this is the kind of thing you can do on Figma, on Miro or any other board. But once you get used to Figma, you just do everything on Figma. It's way easier. Okay, last example on funnel building. Do not freak out. It looks very complicated from there. Just remember, when you start your rather blank page and you start building things one by one. So when you have done it, it really makes sense and you find your way on it. Here, for example, it's what we call an holistic system. It was an attempt to mix all the acquisition channel together as well as email and SEO. So that's really interesting to see, okay, we have those different channel acquisition, we have this different step of the funnel, they all go to this page that brings to a quiz, but also that brings directly to the landing, to the different pages. But once they are on the pages, they also have access to more informations, the same informations that people from SEO is going to have access to. They also have access to the help center. We have the same thing, okay, Pinterest, they are accessing these exact pages, and so on and so forth. Here also, I'm going to show you very quickly, once they're gonna test it. Here was, it's a simple link because you can actually put any links that you want. And then I linked a Loom video. So for the team, it was like, okay, hey, I have an idea, and everybody can just go ahead and click and watch the idea. Here's a part of another one that's not interesting here. Okay, now we are going to look at complex marketing systems. I'm trying to go very quickly through those two ones, not to make it too complicated. It's just to show you again what you can do with it. Here, for example, is an affiliate program that was made for certain kind of partners. For this example, there were midwives that we were actually targeting via cold email to send them a sample of the product so they could become affiliates, so they could promote the product to their clients. And here, the interesting thing of this one is that it really brings everything together. Here I have all the scrapping parts, and you can see like the different list that we use of the cities that we want to scrap, the different scenarios that I've built with no-code tools, make.com for this one, Phantom Buster, and then we scrap Google Map. It goes on to this list, and we try all the different steps, and then goes to Lemlist. Maybe you're not familiar with that. It's just for cold email. And then you have the funnel of cold emails. And again, you have the actual email that is written right here. And you find, again, those different tasks that we need to achieve. Then you can start using a color code. So, for example, you are 3 in the team to work on this funnel. Everybody has its color, so you can put tasks everywhere you want. Simply the person achieve the ones with this color. And then when they arrive here, finally on their page, starts the affiliate program. And the affiliate programs include different landing pages that we have to design, include different emails because they log in, they need to receive an email. But when they receive an email, now they are entering a certain app. And in the app, there are automations. And then you can see here everything that is happening, and so on and so forth. It is really like the complete system all together in one single document. Same thing for this one. It was actually a rental system that we built with no-code tools and a Shopify app that was not made for that, it was made for subscription. And you can see the same thing. Again, you have different to-do lists, you have the different pieces of the customer journey that's going to the product page, the cart, checkout, thank you page, and then order confirmation. But what is happening when there is no order confirmation? Some things are happening in the backend, in Shopify, in the app, and so on and so forth. And we transfer to the 3PL partner that is shipping the product. But what is happening if the customer wants to cancel the order? So how do we do that? Then we bring on like a new system that you can see here. Those are the different processes. And there is a type form and all at once. Again, I'm stopping here. Let's move on. Okay, very simple one this time. The workflow creation. Maybe it's not the right name, but you will understand. This one was built when we had a problem with cancellation on one of the previous system I showed you. And then we weren't able to figure out where was the customer going. So there was a conversation with the customer team that couldn't understand. And so simply what I've done at this moment was just to put myself in the shoes of the customer and click each step. And at each step, I just take a screenshot. So that's the email. Email brings here. They click on this button, that open this pop-up, that open this, that send this email, and then they can change. That was the payment method. That was very quick to do. And with that, I was just recording a Loom video and showing to the customer team, hey, when the customer wants to change the payment method, here is exactly what is happening. And then suddenly everything was clear. Took 5 minutes and it brings so much clarity on the problem. Okay, now let's have some fun with swipe files. So what is a swipe file? Basically, it's a board that you will keep for a long time where you store information that is valuable for you in the future and that you can also share with whoever you want. In this case, this is one I have started not a long time ago to have a vision of the different types of landing pages that we can use. And for each of them, I started taking some examples. So here I have a homepage, not really a landing page. I have the desktop version and then the mobile version. And then I have the hero product kind of landing page. You will probably recognize some of the brands here. Same thing, I just have both desktop and mobile version. Hero bundle, listicle, quiz, collection pages, testimonial landing pages, so on and so forth. But so you can basically put like as many, every time you come across a new cool landing page, you can just bookmark it or you can screenshot it and put it in your Figma. So the next time you want inspiration and in the certain kind of landing pages, directly you have everything at once. But that's not all, because what I also love to do here is to use my examples to compare with what I'm building. So I put a lot of different examples next to it. So when I'm building a page, I'm actually building in the middle of everything. And then the rectangles that you see are the different parts that I want to reproduce. I'm using that as an example. That's John's Road landing page, which obviously is really good. But I'm just looking at, okay, what do they have really in their landing page? And I'm like, okay, so there is this block, and on all their landing page, I find this block. And okay, there is this kind of block, that's testimonial. Okay, fine. Here I have another kind of testimonial that I find at different steps, not all the landing page the same way. And then I try to create blocks that are just like, I'm thinking, okay, I want to create maybe the 3 reasons why block. And then I want to put it here. For example, that's a 3 reasons why block, which doesn't look like this one, but I know already that I need to have it somewhere. Yeah, I think you got the point. It's both storage of value of things that you can use in the future, as well as a place that you can work. You can take a landing page from another board, put it here, so you have all your example around. you start building, and then you copy it in the previous board again. Okay, now we are going to have a look at understanding and explaining complex concepts. This is really here an help for thinking. This one is quite outdated. I've made it like probably 2-3 years ago. It was about a certain way of doing ads. It's not relevant anymore since it has changed. But again, I'm going to make a video about the same kind of campaign, but updated, because it still works. But for that, at some point, I needed to explain it, and I realized I don't really understand it properly myself. I mean, I'm doing it, but I don't get the full vision. So I simply started by like, I have the CBO campaign, I have different assets with dynamic creative ads, and in those creative ads, I have my anchors and put an image of what it looks like, goes to the landing page, I get feedback from my quiz, then I am using the feedback of both the result of the campaign and the quiz to create the second phase. I put the different budgets, some comments, but as I'm building this Figma, I am really understanding it. I am owning this new concept that now I can explain to someone else. And then it makes sense when I explain, because you can see the difference. You can see that at this moment, we had all these angles tested, but then now we have the same angle, but we have different pictures. So now the person that didn't know at all, so first I understood, but now the person I am explaining to is like, oh, okay, I get it. So yeah, that's a very good way to learn. Another good example, just to show you that it is not always about ads and funnels and stuff. Still business, but this is the EOS framework from the book Traction, which I was learning for a while to implement it, and I couldn't really get my head around it. It was I couldn't understand like the different parts of it. So what I've done is simply I went and started writing different things from the document I had. I found this screenshot, which I found was interesting. So I put it visually just for me to, maybe you don't get that at all, because this is not the way you would have put it. But for me, suddenly it made sense. I was like, okay, so the people are interacting with the issues and with the rocks. Sorry if you're not familiar with this concept. But okay, what the rocks are depending on the vision, and they are also depending on creating the data and the process. And I see the interaction of the different pieces together. And again, before I did this Figma, I couldn't understand it. After that, I was able to understand it and to explain it. Okay, let's go back here and look at reporting. So I have two examples to show you. Here is if you remember the rental system I showed you before. When we launched it, you know you will face problems. And once you start having the data coming in, then same thing. You just go ahead and write, take screenshot of everything, put it together, and then you start building the customer, what happened to one single customer. And okay, this is exactly the email they receive. Then they receive this one. I know it because it is in Klaviyo. I can see that 3 minutes after, 1 minute after, 10 hours after, they receive this email, and then we charge them, and so on and so forth. So I've just created, I'm talking about reporting because, okay, we built something, we use Figma to build it, but then now it's working, and we want to see what was happening. So now it's a snapshot of one single customer journey with this system. And then with that, I can simply record a long video and everybody's on board on what is happening. Here I also have another way. That was, for example, at the time of iOS 14, where we were trying desperately to make fit the data from Facebook ads and from Google Analytics. And then here, you just bring screenshots together, create those little rectangles, transparent rectangles, and try to compare what is comparable together. And then you can talk about it during a call, or again with okay, let's move on to collaboration this time, which you have seen quite a lot already, but those are good examples to see simple systems that you can collaborate on. Okay, from there it doesn't look like so simple. I do agree, but it is. So it was a complete system for another business. What you can see here are the different comments that we have used, because I'm using that system, but you can also comment and have conversation on certain points in the file. And you can, what I wanted to show you is that one, especially because it is I'm not going to close just for privacy reasons, but you can see here we have ads, and then we have a landing page. Here it's a type form again, and we have a thank you page. And you can see all this different to-do list that we have done, that we have accomplished with the different colors, depending on the stage or depending on the person. But as you can see, like even it works with very simple thing. Okay, we have 2 pages to do. Let's put it in Figma, and so it is really clear where we have to work. Another one, which this one might be a little bit more complicated. This one is again another business we worked on, where you can see like the kind of brainstorming, the same like ads creation that we had, and then you have all the funnel, and that was very kind of complex quiz. But you also see the different automations that bring to Active Campaign, that send the different emails. But what I wanted to show you was especially the different to-do list. Same thing as the previous one. You really can see that every single step needed to be worked on, and that has been followed through this task management board. Let's move on to the brand creation. So this one is more about designing kind of thing, but it shows you also things that you can do. Some people would use Canva. It's very useful, Canva. It's very easy. But once you know how to use Figma, well, Canva is good for certain things. Most of the things you want to do, it's on Figma. For example, here, if you know the channel, you will recognize those thumbnail. That's a messy board I'm using for now. I need to organize it, but I'm using for my website creations, all the different branding changes I had, and also the thumbnail creations. Yeah, so this is specifically for design for YouTube. And this board here is simply a mood board. It's really like, okay, I want to create a brand from scratch. Let's go ahead and it was bedsheet brands I've created a while ago. And so I went ahead and found all the good bedsheet brands out there and just took screenshots of every of their pages, or at least the interesting pages, just to have an overview of what people would do. Here is, for example, a screenshot of Facebook ad library, as well as some also interesting analytic. When I think that there is something interesting to see in the analytic, this is, for example, seminar web that you can see here, that I've taken some screenshot and added it to my mood board just to remember something specific. Okay, let's talk about landing page creation. I showed you a bunch of things already, but what I really love to do is to have a screenshot and then create those some rectangles by colors afterward. And then I can write down what are the different blocks. So this is above the fold, like emotional headline, describe problem, solution, call to action. Okay, so now we have social proof video. This is like kind of connecting with the founder, branding kind of a block. And then I move on to benefits. And here I have like the block that switch in between for the next big block. And now it's kind of the feature, how it works. And here are the details of the product. But now that I know the different blocks, I can see the whole page at once, and I know I have an overview. It's not like I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh, okay, now all benefits and now all the features. No, I have an overview directly. And when I create another page, then I can compare with the same colors. So now I have, okay, that's the other variant, and here's what we cut or what we added. Here's another example that is completely unrelated, but it was, I used that to create packagings. So those are labels that ended up on my bedsheets that I've created for each size. And here was another label with the different logos that I found. You can, with Figma, you can definitely import for actual print that you can send to a printer, actually. Okay, now the last one of the list, visual thinking, the customer journey example. I'm sorry it is quite messy, but I just want you to get the point. This is a secret weapon. This is a complete customer journey. From every single entry point to every single action, every single flows, automations that are happening, all the different emails that are sent at each time, what is happening if they engage, what is happening if they don't. Here it's every single step until the first purchase, and then you have the purchase and what is happening post-purchase. What do the customers see? What are the different segmentations of email that we have? What are the pages that is those emails are leading to, so on and so forth. You also have, yeah, that was quite fancy with the star, but those were the different Facebook events that were triggered along the way that I used to just know exactly what I was targeting. But yeah, what I want to show you here is that once you have enough level to just create that from scratch, you can unlock a lot of programs by just thinking, okay, let's draw everything. Let's put everything on a board. Every single page that we have, go through the very first ad to the very last email that we send and connect the dots and see the complete journey of your customers. And that is a game changer, really, because you see so many things that you forget about. You raise up so many problems that you haven't any idea of, because it forced you to go through every step in the shoes of the customer. And that's it. We went through every example. It was extremely long, and I'm really happy if you are still watching at this moment. It was quite fun to show you all of that. It has been a very long time that I'm using Figma, and now I know that I couldn't work without it. If Figma would disappear right now, I would be so sad. So if you are still there, I want to show you the different options that you have. So this is a channel that is I'm trying to keep up and to produce the content in a very more efficient way. But depending on the stage that you are at, I have a very interesting video about market research here. If you want to start a business, I have this video from 0 to 1, which shows you a complete framework to go from a business idea to a pre-launch with a waiting list and so on. And if you are already having a running business, you might want to have a look at this video about quiz funnels. It is quite a nerdy video that goes into like deep strategy. But yeah, the few people that watched it, it was recorded a long time ago, but the few people that watched it really enjoyed it and learned a lot, and some have built their business around it. So yeah, those are the options that you have. You can also watch the other ones, but those are probably the ones that you would like the most if you are already liking what you just seen. That's it for this video, and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.